Hi, my name is Jerry Emmons. I'm about to be interviewed by Bobby Fazio. I thought he was a jerk, right? I called him, I texted him probably 10 times, and come to find out, I was texting somebody else. He's been a great guy, been a great asset to our combination.
All right, we're back at the 2022 NHRA Finals here, Pomona, California, and you can't help but see the Lucas Oil team well represented here by the Emmons family out of the Houston, Texas area. I'm here with Jerry Emmons. He runs a B-Stock Automatic 69 Camaro. Very well presented organization here. They really do a great job representing Lucas Oil, who sponsors our Sportsman series. So let's talk to Jerry. Jerry, how you doing?
All right, Bobby. I've had better days, man. Better days.
This is as humbling a sport as we will all know.
That's
so Jerry
right.
Emmons, he wears the has the #1 on the side of his car. He is the world champion from last year, and you know what? Very un-Jerry Emmons like red light today in that first round of eliminations. Jerry, tell us about it. What happened today?
Yeah, I was. There's not much to say. I was 30 red. My car was running when I thought it was going to run. I had to run Mike Logie. He was 001 green. I think he was 1 or 2 above his dial in. So he was putting down a pretty good package. But regardless of what my opponent does, if I roll out of the gate, I want to know I did the best job I can do. And 30 red, it's always been my weakness. For some reason, I'm kind of getting back into some old habits. I'm not sure why. I got to figure that out. It's just lost the focus. I mean, there's no excuse. I lost concentration. So
it happens to all of us. That's what I'm saying. This sport can be so humbling. You can be the winner in week 1 and week 2. You can go out in the first round. That's just the way it is.
That's right.
So let's talk about the 69 Camaro. How long have you had it? How long have you been racing it?
So this car was bought in 1983. It came from a guy from Lon Painter out of Navasota, Texas. It was actually bought from my brother Terry, and he was going to race it, and he actually did when he was 16 years old. And then, as the years went by, we were wanting to go from a G and H stock automatic category and put a big block combination in it. Well, at the time, my father was all 350 small block power glide transmission. That's the only way it was going to roll. So I was driving a 1969 Chevelle, which we still owned, one of the first cars my father owned. And I wanted to put a big block in it to kind of speed up with the class. My father said, absolutely not, we're not changing it. So about that time, Terry snuck this car over to a guy named Ronnie Spears race car in Houston, Texas. And he converted it from a small block to a big block, made some weight bars. I'll give you some pictures of that. And made it into a very competitive talker. It works really well. I can't even tell you the last time I spun the tires, if I ever have spun the tires. I don't think I ever have. But Terry never actually drove the car. When it was finished getting converted from a small block combination to the big block, Terry wanted to go a different route and go into super stock. And my father had said no on the big block for the Chevelle, so I paid the bill at Ronnie Spears, and I said, I'm going to drive it for a while. And I thought, the funny part is, I said, okay, I'm going to go from a 1220 car to 10, or whatever it was at the time, 1050s. Man, I'm going to win the championship first year out. Well, here we are 32 years later, and I finally won it last year.
Oh,
so, yeah, that's just kind of how it works.
That's awesome. Let's look under the hood of this bad boy.
Okay, yep.
So who builds the engines for you guys?
So Brian Tilburg builds the engines.
Oh, Pennsylvania boy.
Yeah, so this actually is the engine out of my nephew's car. Mine had about 3 or 4 years on it. My new motor from Brian Tilburg was not ready yet. So we decided to pull this motor out of my nephew's car around Indy, and we wanted to put it in here just because we knew we were going to come out west after that. It's pretty fresh and it's pretty fast. So we decided to take his engine, and it's been doing really good for us.
Yeah, well, Brian Tilburg, I mean, that's a big name right there.
Oh, he's right. You know what?
That's a pretty hefty shipping bill for you, I guess, unless you're driving up and picking it up.
Yeah, that's okay. But a funny story was when I was trying to get Brian Tilburg to do my engines, I thought he was a jerk, right? I called him, I texted him probably 10 times, and come to find out, I was texting somebody else. I was never calling Brian Tilburg to begin with. So once I figured out I had the wrong number, he's been a great guy, been a great asset to our combination.
Now, what color was the car when you got it?
The car is black. Oh, the car when we bought it was it? It was blue metallic. It looked like a boat actually, with all the little metallic in it. And then we painted it some years later, like in the late '90s. We painted it all black, and that's what it is. It's black and yellow and red underneath the wrap. So it's pretty basic. So this interior, everything is from 1983. We have not touched it. I think we put door panels on it since then, but the only thing we've added to it since 1983 is the race pack dash, and I put a Copo tack in it.
Oh, nice. These seats, though.
Yeah.
Factory seats here?
It's factory seats. Yep, from 1983. Never had them recovered. The carpet's still the same.
Wow.
So it's needless to say. Look, we even had the old school swing out bar. But needless to say, it needs some updates. But we'll work on that at another time.
What kind of trans you running?
I have a Rossler Turbo 350, an ATI converter.
What size is the converter?
That's an 8-inch converter.
Okay.
Yep, stalls about 6,100.
Oh, all right.
And a 530. I'm sorry, not a 513. I have a 488 gear in the back with a Rossler transmission. It's just.
So, what kind of RPM do you turn?
It goes to the tracks around 78, 7,900. I shift it it shifts itself through the governor from the 1-2 shift at about 7,400, and then I move it to high around 7,800.
That's pretty high RPM for a big block.
Yeah.
This thing's really screaming. What kind of RPM do you bring it up to on the starting line?
So what I do, because I just foot brake it, so it depends where I am on the tree. I leave anywhere between 2,500 and 3,000, just depending on if I'm running B stock automatic with the weight in it and I run it heavy, or if I run A stock automatic where I have to pull some weight out of it, and obviously conditions, but generally between 25 to 3,000.
And you don't use the two-step then?
Not at all. No. I used to use the two-step when I would block, when I would have the blinder, but since I did away with that a couple years ago, I just foot brake. For me, that's more natural. That's how I grew up driving, and it didn't work out great this weekend, right? I looked like a fool. But,
it's all right.
But
it's all right. We've all been there. Do not feel bad. What kind of rear is in the car?
So it's a 488. Was it a Richmond gear? And let me show you if I can.
Now, is it a 12-volt rear?
Yeah, it's a 12-volt rear end, yes. I don't know if we can get the lights on. But so Ronnie Spears race cars. So we have these weight bars. These are 32 pounds a piece. And these are 82 pounds a piece. And then I have some more weight up underneath the back end by the wheelie bar. And obviously, depending on what class we decide to run. And then I have the weight bar.
And you have a box.
Here. Yep, that's right.
So the weight box is a little gauge there. What's that? Your battery voltage?
Yeah, it's just the battery voltage. We run the Magna fuel system. We've never had a problem with them.
Yep, and the Optima red top. And I'm assuming there was a battery up there that we saw.
Yes, sir, yeah.
What's that, about a
it's a 5-gallon fuel cell. And it came originally with the foam in it. We pulled the foam out of it just because we don't like, over a period of time, the foam starts to deteriorate.
And it clogs the filters. And
right, so we take that out. Mm-hmm. And man, we love the car. We've had it since 1983.
Now, does Phil Mandela work on this car?
Yeah, so at the end of 2016, I brought it up out west. I left it with Phil Mandela at PMR Race Cars, and they did some updates to the front end and did some updates to the rear end. We added lamb brakes all the way around at that time, and they do great work.
Now, have you noticed a difference with the lamb brakes? Does the wheel spin freer?
Absolutely.
Do they release quickly?
Yes. And listen, we had aerospace brakes on it originally. There's nothing wrong with aerospace brakes, but we put the lamb brakes on it, and you can spin the front wheels and they'll never stop spinning.
Wow,
so,
okay.
What does that tell you?
You're right, because there's a lot of people, I pit with a lot of guys, they spin the wheel for one revolution and boom, it locks.
Yeah, that's right. No, not these. These you'll have to stop them spinning.
The big wheelies that you do.
Oh yeah.
What kind of shocks are you
using? I have these. I used to have AFCOs on the front, and I had Randy Mann's revalve them. He does great work. I just wanted to try something different. A few years back, I put sand tufts on the front, and they do real well. This car, it weighs, was it 30? It's around B stock automatic. The minimum is 3,600 pounds, 3,610. I run it pretty heavy generally, so when it lands, it comes crashing down. The sand tufts do a really good job of the landing, and I'm pretty happy with their product.
Excellent.
Randy Mann's has a great product too. I'm not taking anything away from him. But at the moment, we have the Sand Tough shocks.
All right. Now on B-Stock Automatic, 1125 index. You said the car is 36.
Yeah, 3610
minimum.
is the minimum. That's right.
What's the fastest you've gone with it?
The fastest I've gone in B-Stock Automatic trim was this year at Indy. I went 10:03, and the king, Jim Boudreau, right? He's the absolute marker to if you have a big block 396 aluminum head deal, Jim Boudreau is the guy you have to chase. And we were within I think we were within 500s of him, and I was very pleased with that.
Yeah.
And so we just got to go back home and work on some more over the winter.
That's right. So this is the aluminum head combo. It's a 396, 375
It's a 396, 375 horse with a Holley 780 carburetor on it.
And what's it rated?
It's a 405.
405.
Yes,
okay.
that's right.
So then an A-Stock automatic, how much do you have to
So
weigh?
the weight is 200 pounds difference. So it's 3410, but the index is 11 flat. So it's better for me to run B automatic just because of the index. I can run a little bit farther run farther under the index. The reason why I didn't run A-Stock automatic here is because my car just has the old school roll bar in it, not a roll cage. So, and I knew the weather was going to be good, and if I had a heads-up run, I have to go in the 9s, and I didn't want to take a chance of
NHRA
coming over and either kicking me out or tapping me on the hand, say, look, you can't do that.
Right.
So I don't want to put myself in that position. I don't want to put NHRA in that position to have to come over and tell me. So I ran B. I figured I'd be okay, and again, it didn't matter because I didn't drive very well. But
It's all right. But a good call, and way to think that through.
Sure.
Because many of us probably wouldn't have. And Hoosier tires, 9-inch wide tires, the max you can go in stock Eliminator.
That's right.
Everything the Emmons have, polished. Tires are polished. The cars are clean. The rig is clean.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jerry's clean.
Yeah, we really enjoy drag racing, man. My dad started back in the early 70s, and he's no longer with us, but I have 3 brothers, so 4 brothers total. We all race. We love racing with NHRA. We especially love racing with Lucas Oil. We appreciate what they do for us. We appreciate what Hoosier Racing Tire and BP does. They contribute to our program.
What kind of VP fuel do you run in this car?
The C12 is what I run with this. Whether it's a heads-up run or a bracket run, we run the C12. It's always been a good product for us.
All right.
So, yeah.
No, it's a question that I really haven't been asking a lot of racers, and you just made me think of it right there when you said you run the VP fuel. So we'll start adding that to the question repertoire.
That's a great question.
All right, Jerry. Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us. I guess, is this it for you? The season's
The season's done. We'll do some testing in the off season. We have some headers we're going to test. Other motors should be done, so we're going to test that. And hopefully we'll be stronger than ever next season.
All right. Well, good luck to you next season, and thanks for spending time with us. We enjoy it.
Awesome.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks, Bobby.